What's up, guys? Coming to you today with a full slate of NBA and college basketball action here on Wednesday, January 7th. I'll give you my favorite picks on the side and over-under like we do on every single game. We're going to break down the biggest college basketball games of the night. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock. So do me a huge favor, guys, and slam that thumbs up button. We're trying to make it to 1,000 likes on a video this year. That would be great if we can make that happen. Been a long time since we've made it to 1K. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I actually had a friend text me here right around January 1st that this was going to be the year we're going to make it to 100,000 subscribers on the channel. Well, here's hoping that would take a big leap, but guys, I believe that we can do it. Take a second, check and see if you're subscribed. It really helps the channel to grow and also helps keep you getting these videos recommended to you every single day. That way you don't miss out on any of our amazing days like we had there on the 5th where we went 6-0. Also, get down in the comments and let us know anything you want to say about these videos, about me, any questions you have about picks across the sports world. I personally read every single comment I get. I may not have time to answer every single one. I do have a 1-year-old in the house, so things can be a little bit hectic, but I promise that I at least see every single comment that you make. Also, check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks. That's where we put our favorite plays every single day. Definitely make sure you're checking back a couple of times throughout the day just to check if there have been any changes with injury news coming in or starters being moved around or something like that, especially in the NBA. A lot can change with some late-breaking injury news. Make sure you're getting over to stumpthespread.com, checking on the premium picks there. We're coming off a very nice night, especially on the college basketball side. On the premium picks, we'll break down all of that a little bit later. And check out all the free stuff over there. The free email newsletter is a great resource, and you definitely want to be checking that free picks tab every single day. In terms of a recap for yesterday, it's not living up to the hype that we built up there on a incredible Monday where we went 6-0. Tuesday's looking a little bit rougher. We've got some wins already under our belts, though. Got off to a rough start. We had Georgia plus 8.5, and they had a great first half, but a terrible second half. They end up eventually losing that game 77-92. Playing in Florida, still pretty rough. We had Iowa at minus 6.5, and they did make a pretty nice comeback there in the second half, but still come up well short there against Minnesota. Seems like playing in Minnesota, still a pretty tough spot. We did cash the under there on that San Antonio Spurs Memphis Grizzlies game, and it was an easy cash. It was a 105-106 win there for Memphis, getting us the under there without any sweat at all. Looks like playing unders when teams are on the front half of back-to-back could end up being a very nice strategy here going forward. We also cashed the Lakers at minus 5. LeBron and Luka each score 30 points. The Lakers dominate the fourth quarter 32-17 and come away with a 111-103 win there over the Pelicans. Trey Murphy did go nuts out there for New Orleans, but it wasn't enough there in the end. And the Lakers bench, yeah, they did not look great. That is a pretty big concern for this team down the stretch. We did break out on our dog of the day. We had the Heat plus 5.5, and while it was a solid first quarter, everything fell apart after that. Anthony Edwards was apparently, possibly not even going to play in this game. Well, he does end up playing there for Minnesota with 26 points in 29 minutes, and the Timberwolves dominated the glass in this game. So that was pretty unfortunate. We do have Kansas still live as our massive lock of the day, although they are really kind of trying to choke it away there in the second half. They're down by 14 with 11 minutes left, so it's going to take a pretty big comeback, but weirder things have happened. That would be pretty tilting, though, to see Kansas find a way to lose on their home floor. We're going to go ahead and dive in, though. We've got a ton of NBA to break down, a nice little college slate to break down for you guys as well. So no time like the present. Let's get after it. First up, we're going to look at the Indiana Hoosiers as they go on the road to take on the Maryland Terrapins. In this Big Ten showdown, guys, Indiana comes into this game 11-3 on the season, having a pretty good time. They've won their last 3 in a row. The meaningful win over that stretch was taking down Washington 90-80. That was a home game for Indiana, so well played there. They beat Siena, they beat CHST, but before that they lost to Kentucky. Played a crazy game against Penn State where they put up massive numbers, but also lost against Louisville and Minnesota. So it has not all been smooth sailing here for the Hoosiers. Lamar Wilkerson is a monster, putting up nearly 20 points per game. So very solid stuff there. The rebounding is a bit of a concern for us here for the Terrapins. Not going to lie. The offense does look good. The defense is fine. They've got good ball movement, all that kind of stuff. But I'm just not 100% sold on their ability to hang tough on the boards, at least against some opponents. They are in a bit of a look-ahead spot, too. They play Maryland, then they have to play Nebraska, then Michigan State. So maybe a little bit of a look-ahead here spot for Minnesota, or for Indiana, as they go on the road to take on Maryland. Now, the Terrapins, they have not had a great year. They're 7-7 overall. They lost to Georgetown very early on. They're coming off a 10-point loss at home against Oregon. That's not a great look. Lost against UVA, got destroyed by Michigan, lost to Iowa. So the success has been few and far between, but they have played an extremely, extremely tough schedule. So we'll see if they've got a bounce back in them. Their rebounding numbers also worry me a bit. The offense is fine, but definitely not in the dominant category. Defensively, they've struggled, but when you've played the kind of schedule they've played, you'd expect a team, at least of this level, to struggle a little bit on defense. So look at the numbers, guys. Maryland, they're getting 7.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 148.5. Indiana, they're 7-7 against the spread. They're 7-7 to the over/under. Maryland, they are 6-8 against the spread. They're 9-5 to the over. Guys, we're actually going to take Indiana to get the win and cover here on the road, despite their look-ahead spot, because Maryland is in a kind of interesting look-ahead spot of their own. They're about to fly out to California to take on UCLA and USC. I think they're going to be mildly distracted for this game. They're also not a great team, so I do think Indiana takes advantage here and gets the win and cover. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the number 4 Yukon Huskies heading to Providence to take on the Friars. Now, Yukon's had a great season. They're 14-1 overall. Their only loss was against Arizona. Doesn't get a much better loss than that. They've had big wins against teams like BYU, Illinois, Kansas, Florida. They're coming off a 73-57 blowout win over Marquette. They blew out Xavier. Things are looking very, very good for Yukon here in the Big East. Not seeing a ton of teams out there that can really challenge them this season. Solo Ball's putting up very good numbers. We're liking what we're seeing pretty much across the board from this team. Their defense is suffocating. Their rebounding is good. I wouldn't put it in the top tier, but it's good. And the offense absolutely gets the job done on a nightly basis. So not a lot of negatives right now for the Huskies as they go on the road to take on Providence, who might be staring down kind of a rough season in the Big East this year. I mean, they're 8-6 overall. They're coming off a big win over St. John's, so that's great. Are they going to be able to maintain that? I mean, they've lost to Butler, Seton Hall, they've lost to Florida, Wisconsin, and Colorado this year, so it hasn't been easy. We have liked what we've seen from Jason Edwards. He's 17-9 on the season. That's a good, he's averaging 17.9 points per game this season. The shooting numbers are not that efficient, though. Offensively, the Friars are putting up a lot of points, but they've played some pretty high-scoring games, putting up 106 against Penn, playing overtime games against Virginia Tech and against Butler. Those all have kind of inflated their season-long scoring numbers. So we'll see what they can do in this one. They are playing at home, so that helps. They have Xavier on deck, so no major look-ahead spot, but it's also not a look-ahead spot for Yukon. The Friars are getting 10.5 points at home. We've got a total of 150.5. Yukon, they're 7-8 against the spread. They're 10-5 to the under. Providence is 8-6 against the spread. They're 9-5 to the over. Guys, this is a massive letdown spot here for Providence coming off that win over St. John's. I will be backing Yukon. I think they're just by far the better team. Is this going to make the pinned comment? Probably not. Providence has been pretty decent. They can pull off some crazy stuff at home from time to time, so this won't be a pinned comment kind of play, but I do think Yukon is definitely the side you want in this game. Next on the docket, heading to the Missouri Valley, we're looking at the Belmont Bruins going to Northern Iowa to take on the Panthers. Belmont's had a pretty good season. They're 13-3 overall, but they're only 3-2 in conference play. They've lost to Indiana State by 1 point. Also lost a 1-point heartbreaker there against the Salukis. So yeah, it's been a little bit rough. Now they got to go on the road to play in one of the toughest road environments in the whole conference. So definitely a little bit of a rough stretch here for Belmont. We've liked what we've seen from Tyler Lundblade this season. 17 points per game, 46% from the field. No problems there. Nick McLean, a very solid point guard, 6.5 assists and 10 points a game. This team is very, very reasonable offensively. Top 75 in the nation. The rebounding numbers in general are pretty good as well, top 100. Their defense, maybe not top tier. We're going to have to kind of wait and maybe need a little bit bigger of a sample size here, but we'll see what they can do. This is not an easy place to play. They're heading to Northern Iowa to take on the Panthers, who are 4-0 in Missouri Valley Conference play. They're coming off their third straight win, taking down Evansville 62-48. Now, Evansville might be the worst team in the conference, so that's not all that impressive, but they've also beat Indiana State. They beat Valparaiso. They played a very competitive game there at St. Mary's not too long ago. They haven't played a ton of big step-up games this year, really haven't played any, but they've looked very, very good. This is a grinded-out, defensive-minded kind of team. They're only averaging 70 points per game, but they're giving up 57.3 per contest. Very, very good numbers there. So looking at the numbers for this game, Iowa, the Northern Iowa Panthers are 2.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 135.5. Belmont, they're 7-7-1 against the spread. They're 8-7 to the under. Northern Iowa is 9-5 against the spread and 11-3 to the under. I mean, we only saw 110 points scored in their last game. I certainly think under 135.5 is very, very solid here. I don't think we're going to see a crazy amount of offense, especially playing at home. Northern Iowa is going to inflict their pace of play on this game. So under is certainly live, but better than that, I will take the Northern Iowa Panthers here playing at home. This is kind of a big test for them, but I think they're up for it. I think they're going to inflict their style on Belmont here, and that's definitely going to favor Northern Iowa here playing at home. Hey guys, before we jump in and break down the Xavier Musketeers going on the road to taking the Marquette Golden Eagles and get into the rest of this college basketball slate, we got to shout out the sponsors of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks. We have a team of experienced cappers over there covering all the major sports right now. As of today, our premium members are getting daily NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, college football, and college basketball picks. We have some very big unit NFL plays cooking over there in the premium section, already jumping in on those early lines. Our premium NFL handicapper is really, really going for it here late in the season and is seeing the games really, really well. The college basketball stuff is popping off. Our premium handicapper for college basketball is doing great. If Wisconsin can hold on, we're looking at a very profitable, what will that be, a 4-1 night on the premium side in college basketball. NBA didn't have a ton cooking, did cash Tyler Heroes over on points there as he comes back from injury, but overall looking like a very positive day on the premium side at StumpTheSpread.com. So you definitely want to get over there and check out all the premium stuff, but get over there for sure and check out the free stuff. There's lots of free stuff, but there's free picks every single day under the free picks tab. The free picks are looking in bad shape. The free pick for today was Kansas, so that one is looking a little bit rough, but you definitely want to get over there and see what they've got cooking for tomorrow. I do expect a little bit of a bounce back. Those free picks have been running pretty hot. I'm not going to lie. They've been looking pretty good over the last, I would say, week to 10 days, somewhere in there. I think they're like 8-1 or 7-2 or something like that. So yeah, definitely get over there and check out those free picks under the free picks tab. Nice big write-up. You also want to get on that free email newsletter, guys. Lots of great information in that newsletter every single day. We cashed a bunch of NFL touchdown props last week. You can see those up on the screen right now. That's a great resource here with the end of the NFL regular season and the playoffs starting. Tons and tons of player props available there in the preseason and touchdown props coming up this weekend. So you got to make sure you're on that email list. Those all go out in the email. Tons of information on niche sports betting like golf, NASCAR, tennis, WNBA, UFC, all kinds of great stuff on those, parlays, player props, you name it, it can be in those emails. So definitely make sure you're getting on that email list. It's really easy. You just go to StumpTheSpread.com and sign up for a free account. All they're going to ask you for is your name and your email address. That's it. You'll get one email straight to your inbox every single day, just jam-packed with great sports betting information and free picks every single day. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, get over to StumpTheSpread.com and consider picking up a Stump the Spread hoodie. We've lowered the price all the way down to cost. It costs us $40 to make and ship a hoodie, and that's how much it costs you to buy one. So if you're interested in the Stump the Spread hoodie, we can get you one. Just go over there and click that little shop tab and check them out. Would be very happy to sell our first Stump the Spread hoodie. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every single video, but maybe most importantly, they get access to our members-only giveaways. We give away a Stump the Spread hoodie here absolutely for free every single week to a random channel member. We've got a little bit over 100 channel members, so your odds aren't necessarily sky high. So if you desperately want one, I would definitely consider going over there and just purchasing one. But you've always got a chance. We gave one away last Monday. We're going to give one away this Monday. If we get up to more and more members, we'll be doing more and more giveaways. I would love to be doing a couple or 3 giveaways a week. That would be amazing. I'd love to give a hoodie away on every single video. That would be incredible. But obviously, we're not quite at that level yet. Let's see if we can get there. Huge shout out to all my YouTube channel members, though. Really, really appreciate you guys. Now, let's go ahead and dive back in. We've got quite a few more college basketball games to cover and then the entire NBA slate. So let's get after it, guys. Next up, we're going to be looking at the Xavier Musketeers as they go on the road to take on Marquette. Xavier comes into this game 9-6 on the season, but only 1-3 in Big East play. They're coming off back-to-back losses. Losing against Yukon makes a lot of sense. Using against DePaul, that one's got to sting a little bit. It was a 9-point loss there at DePaul. Now they got to go on the road to take on Marquette, so things don't get really much easier, it doesn't feel like, and I'll be honest, this Musketeers squad has not been great. Trey Carroll leads the way with 16 points per game. That's nice, but they're 231st in the nation in total offense. Their defensive numbers are very bad. Their rebounding is nearly 300th in the nation. Just not a lot pointed in the right direction. This is not one of those Marquette teams from back in the day. Might even be a bit of a down season for the Big East. It's too early to tell for sure. We'll have to wait and see, but things aren't looking great for the Musketeers as they go on the road to take on Marquette, who's having an even worse time this season overall. I mean, they're 0-4 in Big East play. They're coming off losses against Yukon, albeit a game that was competitive at times. They lost by 6 against Seton Hall. They lost in a blowout at Creighton. They lost to Georgetown. It just has not been a great year. Chase Ross is putting up 16 points per game. Great. They're 254th in the nation total offense. Their rebounding numbers are pretty bad as well. Their defensive numbers are even worse than what we've seen from Xavier this year. So it has just not been a very good look. And when you look at what they've done this season against the spread, it's even worse. Marquette, they're 5.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 157.5. Xavier is 6-9 against the spread, 10-5 to the over. Marquette is 3-11 and 1 against the spread this year. They're 8-7 to the under. I'll take Xavier getting 5.5 points in this game. I don't think this one has the legs to make the pinned comment just because I don't trust the Musketeers enough here playing on the road. But with how bad Marquette is, we at least have to consider taking the Musketeers and the points in this spot because, yeah, I mean, two bad teams, the one that maybe is slightly better, and they're getting the points, maybe we should go with the points. Now, guys, getting into some of the actual good teams, we're looking at the Miami Hurricanes going on the road to take on the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Now, Miami, they come in this game 2-12 on, or 12-2, big difference there. 12-2 on the season. They're 1-0 in ACC play. They've done a pretty good job. They did lose, to Miami or to Florida early in the season in a little Florida showdown, but they're coming off a win over Pitt. They took down Ole Miss. They beat Georgetown. They played a competitive game against BYU before eventually losing. So this team definitely has some solid pieces. We like what we've seen from Malik Reneau so far this year. 21 points per game, shooting 60% from the field is very impressive stuff. We've also liked what we've seen from Shelton Henderson. I mean, 60% from the field for him and 13 a game. This team is in the top 27 in the nation in total offense. Their rebounding numbers are very, very strong as well. They play good defense. They've got good ball movement. There's a lot to like about Miami right now. They've been playing great. We'll see what they can do here on the road. Going on the road can be tough at times in college basketball. We'll see what it looks like here in the ACC. They're taking on the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, who are 10-5 on the season. They're 1-1 in conference play. They lost to NC State pretty handily, but then bounced back and beat Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech team that's been, a little bit spunky this year. They've got decent non-conference showings against teams like West Virginia, but got blown out by Oklahoma, got very much blown out by Vanderbilt, lost to Texas Tech in a game that could have gone either way, barely beat Memphis, almost beat Michigan early in the season. That would have been a crazy, crazy win, but they do end up losing that game, and Michigan's looked better and better down the stretch. We like what we've seen from Juke Harris. 20 points per game is no joke. This team's right around top 100 in the nation total offense, but their rebounding numbers are suspect, and their defense is not very good. Those are two very, very big concerns in this spot, especially the rebounding. And despite all that, Wake Forest, they're 1-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 155.5. Miami is 7-6 against the spread this year. They're 8-4-1 to the over. Wake Forest is 6-9 against the spread. They're 8-7 to the over themselves. Wake Forest kind of has a look-ahead spot here as well. They go to UNC after this game. Miami, after this one, they play Georgia Tech, so it's not as much of a look-ahead spot. So considering all that, we do think maybe over 155.5 could be in play in this game. I think that's a reasonable lean, but much better than that, guys. We are slamming it here on the Miami Hurricanes. If they stay underdogs in this, I would be kind of shocked. I think this line is going to flip. I think they're going to end up 2, maybe 3-point favorites in this game, and I think they deserve it. They're by far the better team in my opinion. Give me Miami here despite the fact they're playing on the road. Next up, we're taking a look at some SEC action. We've got the Missouri Tigers going on the road to take on the Kentucky Wildcats. Now, Mizzou, they're 11-3 to start the year. It hasn't all been smooth sailing, but they are coming off a massive 76-74 win there over Florida. Mizzou was playing at home in that game, and it got them off to a 1-0 start in conference play, so major props to them. We like what we've seen from Mark Mitchell this season, 17 points per game, 57% from the field. Mizzou, once once again is a team that can really, really, put up some offensive numbers. They're a good offensive team. The rebounding, but the defense has maybe taken a step forward this season. That being said, they're also the same team that got blown out 91-48 against Illinois, and 80-60 against Kansas. So let's not freak out too much here. I'm not ready to crown them any sort of special team. They got a long way to go in the SEC this year. So we'll see what they can do on the road against Kentucky. The Wildcats are 9-5 on the season. They're in a bounce back spot coming off kind of an embarrassing performance there at Alabama. They, will be back home for this game, so that helps, but getting blown out in a game you were supposed to be competitive in isn't great. They did beat St. John's, they beat Indiana, but they lost to Gonzaga pretty handily, lost to UNC in a close one, got blown out by Michigan State, also lost to Louisville, so it has not been an easy season for the Wildcats. Their numbers across the board look pretty okay. They're a good rebounding team. Their offense is nice. Like, all that kind of stuff is pointing in the right direction. The defense even looks good, but it really hasn't all come together at the same time. So we'll see what they can do in this one. They're 12.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 151.5. Mizzou, they are 6-8 against the spread, 9-5 to the under. Kentucky, they're 6-8 against the spread as well. They're 8-6 to the under themselves. Despite those trends, I don't think I have the stomach to take under 151.5 in this game. Although you could, make a case for it given those trends. In terms of a side, I really want to fade Missouri coming off of that loss, but this is a big, big number. So I think I will stick to my guns here. I'll take Kentucky to get the win and cover at home in a letdown spot for the Tigers, but this one is no action for me. I'm not getting involved here. I just don't trust Missouri enough here going on the road. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Kansas State Wildcats heading to Arizona to take on the Arizona Wildcats. Now, Kansas State, they're 9-5 on the season. Big 12 play did not get off to a good start for them as they lost 83-73 against BYU. That being said, they did keep it very competitive. We're loving what we're seeing from PJ Haggerty this season. 23 points, 51% from the field. Very, very good numbers. This team is great offensively, 33rd in the nation in total points per game. The rebounding, maybe not so great. The defense is okay. We'll see what they can do. This is obviously a big, this is the toughest team you could play in the nation, pretty much. Them or Michigan. It seems very, very clear cut. They have not had a ton of success against elite opponents, losing to Nebraska, Indiana, losing to Seton Hall. They beat Creighton, but Creighton's having a bit of a down year, and then losing to BYU. So will they be able to stay attached here to Arizona? They are playing in Arizona, and that can be tough. The Arizona Wildcats are 14-0 to start the year. They've got a slew of major wins, taking down Florida to open their season, beating UCLA, Yukon, Auburn, Alabama, and then most recently taking down Utah 97-78. This team is deep, has tons and tons of talent. They're one of the best offensive teams in the nation. Their defensive numbers are excellent. They're one of the top rebounding teams in the nation. The list just goes on and on of ways this team is dominant, and that's why they're 20.5-point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 169.5. Kansas State, they're 6-8 against the spread, 8-6 to the over. Arizona, they're 8-5-1 against the spread. They're 8-6 to the over. Their on-deck team is TCU, so no look-ahead spot. Kansas State's on-deck team is Arizona State. This is a tough spot to me. With both teams trending towards the over, maybe we should take over 169.5 here. I will lean slightly towards Arizona to get the blowout win and cover, but not too much conviction in this spot. Kansas State is a good offensive team, so we'll see how this one plays out. In our last college basketball game before we hop over and cover the NBA slate, we're looking at the biggest game of the day. We've got number 13 Alabama going on the road to take on number 11 Vanderbilt. Now Alabama, they're 11-3 on the season. They've played a tough schedule. They've lost to Purdue and Gonzaga this year. They also lost to Arizona, but they beat Illinois. They beat, Maryland doesn't even count as a tough team anymore, but they did beat Kentucky their last time out. They haven't had that much success against elite opponents. So this is their chance to prove something. We've loved what we've seen from LeBaron. 22 points per game, dominant. They're 7th in the nation total offense. Their rebounding numbers look great. This is a team that plays with a crazy amount of pace. That being said, the defensive numbers suffer from that, and they might also suffer from this team not being very good defensively. I hate to say it, but it might actually be true. They have won 4 in a row, but wins over USF, Kennesaw State, Yale, and then Kentucky. Those not really looking like that dominant of wins. So we'll see what they can do on the road here against Vanderbilt. The Commodores are 14-0 on the season. Although this is going to be by far the toughest opponent they've played, by a landslide margin. They beat South Carolina their last time out, 83-71. They beat Memphis by 7. They beat SMU in kind of a blowout. They beat VCU, beat Western Kentucky, but really haven't played any tough competition. So it's going to be kind of put up or shut up time for guys like Duke Miles and Tyler Tanner. Also, Tyler Nickel, he's been very good this year. They're 10th in the nation total offense and only giving up 70 points per game. But when you're doing that against bad teams, you got to really prove it here against the good ones. Now, the odds makers believe Vanderbilt, they're 4.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 177.5. Alabama's 6-7 against the spread. They're 7-6 to the under, which is kind of wild. Vanderbilt's 9-5 against the spread. They are 8-6 to the over. Guys, I do like over 177.5 in this one very, very much. I think we're going to see a very high scoring game. Tons and tons of getting up and down the floor. Tons and tons of offense. In terms of a side, I'll take Alabama getting 4.5 points. I don't think Vanderbilt's really ready for what they're about to see in this game. They just haven't faced anybody that's this level this season or anywhere close to it. So give me the Crimson Tide here as underdogs on the road. Now, guys, hopping in to break down the full NBA slate, and we've got a ton of games out there on Wednesday. We're going to dive right in, but before we do, make sure you're slamming that thumbs up button and make sure you're letting us know down in the comments how crazy it is you think that we're covering this many games. But let's get after it. We got the Toronto Raptors going on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets. The Raptors, they are fresh off a 118-100 win there over the Atlanta Hawks, so very, very well played there. They've actually won 4 out of their last 5, so things are looking great. They come into this game very healthy overall. Jakob Poeltl's still missing time. He's been missing quite a bit of time, but sounds like he will not play in this game, still dealing with back issues, and it does kind of start to feel like Toronto might be a big man away from being a very, very competitive team come playoff time out there in the Eastern Conference. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Charlotte Hornets. They come into this game 13-23 on the season, so, not having the easiest time overall this season, but they're playing great recently, beating the Bulls, and then going to Oklahoma City as massive underdogs. We were on Charlotte in that game, getting 15.5 points, and getting the 124-97 win. So great work there. Obviously, that does leave them in a bit of a letdown spot, but they shot the lights out, made 51% of their threes in that game. Monster performances from Brandon Miller. Con Knuppel played really, really well. LaMelo Ball, not the most insane day from him, but he was 5 of 10 from the field and 4 of 7 from 3, so you can't ask for all that much more. It was just a great day out there across the board from the Hornets. So they'll definitely take that. Now they got to, defend home court in this one. They're a little bit banged up. We do see Kalkbrenner still out for this game. Brandon Miller is probable dealing with a left knee contusion. I fully expect him to play and to play well in this one. He's having a great season so far. So looking at the numbers, the Hornets are getting 2.5 points at home. We've got a total of 230.5. Toronto, they're 9-8 against the spread on the road. They're 23-14 to the under. That's actually an NBA best to the under. The Hornets are 10-7 against the spread at home. They're 22-14 to the under. So I actually think in kind of a letdown spot here for the Hornets and taking on the Raptors, under 230.5 is very, very live in this game. I don't think we're see a crazy amount of offense here, so the under makes a ton of sense. In terms of a side, I will also take the Raptors at -2.5. This is just too big of a letdown spot for Charlotte coming off that massive, massive win. I think we just inevitably see them take their foot off the gas. I don't expect a letdown here from Toronto, so yeah, give me the Raptors here, despite the fact they're playing on the road. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Chicago Bulls heading to Detroit to take on the Pistons. The Bulls are 17-19 on the season. They've lost 2 in a row, just coming up very short there against the Celtics. We were on the Celtics in that game, so that 115-101 loss for Chicago didn't hurt us. It helped quite a bit. Buzelis played great in that game, 26 points, great shooting numbers, but was still a -6. Vujicic, not the best day from him. Kevin Huerter in the starting lineup, that did not go well. 15 points off the bench from Dosunmu, looks good, but overall a rough day there for the Bulls, and they come into this one still very banged up. Josh Giddey on the injury report, still will not be back dealing with that hamstring issue. Kobe White and Buzelis both on the injury report as well, and Jalen Smith and Zach Collins both will not play. White dealing with injury maintenance, that's the idea here, is questionable, and Buzelis is questionable with an illness. So even if they do play, they seems like they won't be at 100% here as they go to Detroit to take on the Pistons. Now, the Pistons are playing amazing. They find themselves in a bit of a letdown spot, coming off a 121-90 win there over the Knicks. They beat the Knicks and the Cavaliers over their last 2 games. Like, those are 2 pretty big-name teams out there in the East. In that win, we loved what we saw, obviously, from Cade. He played great, but the bench came up huge for the Pistons in this game, and it's been great all season. Javonte Green, 17, Jaden Ivey, 16, and 12 points there from Jenkins, all coming off the bench. In a game, the Pistons shot 52% from 3. I mean, great work, honestly. The Pistons are playing great. Got to give them tons and tons of props. They are very banged up coming into this game, though. That is concerning. We see Cade, Duncan Robinson, Tobias Harris, Jalen Duren, and Karis LeVert all on the injury report. Now, Cade, he's listed as probable due to a right wrist contusion, so it sounds like he'll be out there. Duncan Robinson with a calf issue, sounds like he's going to play as well. Tobias Harris, he's going to be out for a bit. I think that's actually a net positive for this team. We'll see. Jalen Duren, though, being out, that is a problem. He's going to be out at least another 4 days, probably longer than that with that ankle. So we'll see how that goes. Karis LeVert does sound like he's going to come back. I don't know if that's really a positive or a negative. So looking at the numbers, guys, the Pistons are 10.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 233.5 in this game. The Bulls, they're 8-9 against spread on the road. They're 20-16 to the under. Detroit's 9-7 against spread at home. They're 18-17-1 to the under. I don't know if I'm interested in the total too much in this game. I will lean a bit towards the favorite here, so give me the Pistons at -10.5. The Bulls are just pretty banged up. I think Detroit is locked in enough to, keep from making any massive mistakes in this game. Next up, we're looking at the Washington Wizards going on the road to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. The Wizards played last night, so they will be playing this one on no rest, but they did get the 120-112 straight-up win there over the Magic. I gave you guys a slight lean on the Wizards in the points. I hope you jumped on it because they end up with a straight-up win. McCollum doing his thing out there, really doing a great job of auditioning for other teams, so we'll see if he gets traded somewhere decent. We'll see. We'll see if that actually happens. They didn't shoot the ball particularly well in this game. Anthony Black had a terrible game there for Orlando. I will mention that. The bench looked really great for the Wizards. So we'll see what they can do here playing on back-to-back nights. Obviously not a very updated injury report here. They're not great on back-to-back nights historically. We'll see what goes on. They're traveling to Philadelphia to take on the 76ers, who are 19-15 on the season. So we'll see how that goes. They've coming off a 1-point loss against the shorthanded Nuggets is not a very good look. So very concerning stuff there. The 76ers, I mean, the big question for them on a nightly basis is who's going to actually play. It seems like Kelly Oubre is still going to be out. Seems like Joel Embiid, he's questionable with now they're listing it as an ankle complaint, so he's suffering other injuries at this point. That is a very concerning thing to me. That Embiid contract is looking pretty freaking wild. So, like I said, we'll see what happens. They are taking on the Wizards here, and Washington, they're 3-6 against the spread when coming off a win. So that is a bit of a concern. I do like the 76ers here, especially if Embiid plays. This 12.5 number is a very early number. You can't even get anything down on it yet, so we'll have to wait and see. Check the pinned comment for updates about this game. Next up, guys, we've got the Denver Nuggets heading to Boston to take on the Celtics. It seems like Jokic is, going to be back kind of sooner rather than later. Apparently, according to Shams, he's targeting an end of January kind of return, which would not be that long to be out, especially for an injury that looked kind of scary when it happened. So we'll see. They've been keeping their heads above water at least a little bit, coming off that crazy 125-124 win there over the 76ers. That was the real skeleton crew there for the Nuggets. Spencer Jones played 43 minutes and had 10 points in that game. 29 piece there from Jalen Pickett. 21 off the bench from Zeke Naji. They shot 49% from 3, and clearly the 76ers didn't take them seriously, and the Nuggets snagged that 1-point win. So that's got to feel amazing. The injury report probably does not feel amazing right now, although there's potential here. Jamal Murray, he's on there dealing with an ankle issue. He's questionable. Christian Brown dealing with left ankle sprain. He's still questionable as well. We haven't seen him since the 4th, where he made his return and played 24 minutes and didn't look that sharp. Aaron Gordon dealing with his hamstring issue is questionable for this game as well. He played 21 minutes against the Nets back on the 4th, and that was in a loss. So we'll see what they can put together here on the road against the Celtics, who've been killing it, winning 4 in a row and 8 out of their last 9 overall. They're coming off that nice win over the Bulls that got us the winning cover. Everybody played well in that game pretty much. No big complaints. Anthony Simons actually popping off for 27 points in that game. So the Celtics killing it. The injury report looks clean as a whistle right now, so they're healthy and ready to go. They're 9.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 230.5. Denver is 12-9 against spread on the road. They're also a big over team, which obviously the majority of those stats were compiled with Jokic available. Boston's 9-7 against spread at home. They are 19-16 to the under. The question for me in this game is who's actually going to be available for Denver. If we're going to see the majority of those guys sit, I'll definitely take the Celtics here to win by double digits. If they're not, we got to look at Denver and the points. Unfortunately, that makes this one a bit of a wait-and-see spot. So keep an eye on that pinned comment, guys. Things could get added in late here on Wednesday. Next on the docket, we're looking at the New Orleans Pelicans heading to Atlanta to take on the Hawks. The Pelicans will be playing on no rest here. They're coming off a 111-103 loss against the Lakers. They let Luka and LeBron each score 30 points, so not a great look there. Trey Murphy had a big game, but Zion had a bit of a letdown. I mean, Trey Murphy, 42 points. Dude, crazy work there. Zion, 15 points, 7 of 13, but at least he was smart enough to get out of the way. He also only went 1 of 5 from the free throw line, so that's pretty embarrassing. No double-digit scores off the bench. They only made 10 threes in the whole game, 10 out of 40. That's 25%. Not great. They kept things even on the boards, I guess, but we really struggled to come up with positives for the Pelicans in that loss, except for Trey Murphy. No super updated injury report here. Obviously, it does appear that Herb Jones could be nearing a return. We'll see. When he played against the Lakers, the last time he played was on the 6th. Oh, no, Herb Jones did play in this game. Yeah. Oh, he was terrible, too. Oh, my God. Okay, so Herb Jones working his way back into form. We'll see. We'll see what he can do in this one as they go to Atlanta to take on the Hawks. All kinds of crazy rumors swirling around the Hawks, whether or not they're going to trade Trae Young. I think it's been confirmed now. The Hawks are kind of working with him to find a trade partner. We'll see if there is a trade partner for Trae Young. They're coming off back-to-back losses to the Raptors, so that hasn't looked great. Kind of wasting a good Jalen Johnson season. Trae Young, it appears they're not going to play him. I think he's out for this game. He's officially questionable, so we'll see. But other than that, they're healthy and ready to go with the usual suspects. The Hawks are 9.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 241.5. The Pelicans are 7-8 against spread on the road. They're a 500 against spread team on no rest. They're 21-16 to the over. Atlanta is 6-11 against the spread at home. They're 21-17 to the over. I could maybe lean towards the over in this game. I think that's a reasonable spot to back over 241.5, but better than that, I'll take the Pelicans getting 9.5 points in this game. I think they definitely find a way to make it very competitive here. The Hawks have not been great necessarily recently. I know it's a bounce back spot for them, and I know New Orleans has been bad, so we'll see if this edges its way into the pin comment, maybe as the dog of the day, but I don't love this spot for the Atlanta Hawks. Rapid fire through these games, we're looking at the Orlando Magic heading to Brooklyn to take on the Nets. The Magic are 20-17 on the season. They are coming off a pretty embarrassing loss there on Tuesday against the Wizards, so they will be playing on no rest. This team just can't seem to get things figured out. I mean, in the loss, we see Paolo only score 14 points and only take 10 shots. I know it was the front half of a back-to-back, but still, you got to try and win against the Wizards. Like, those are free wins. You just got to go out there and get them. Jace Richardson actually led the team with 20 points, but a lot of those came in garbage time. I mean, Bane had 15. I don't know. Anthony Black had one of the worst games of his season. It just was not a good look out there for the Orlando Magic. So I guess the good news for them is they have a chance to redeem themselves, but the bad news is they have to go from Washington to Brooklyn and play on no rest. So we'll see what they can do. No updated injury report. We do see Suggs and Franz Wagner on there, and maybe they were just sitting out the front half of a back-to-back. We'll have to see. Suggs still dealing with that knee, and Franz Wagner, still dealing with that ankle issue. So we'll see when he's able to come back. He hasn't played since December 7th. So we'll see who they've got available as they head to Brooklyn to take on the Nets, who are coming off that 127-115 win there over the Nuggets. Michael Porter Jr. putting up 27 points against his old team, 11 rebounds and 5 assists. Also, he played great in that game. Maybe a little bit of a revenge spot for sure. We liked Cam Thomas putting up 17 off the bench. Very good work from Day'Ron Sharpe and Noah Clowney. They did a good job on the boards as well and shot the ball excellent. So good stuff for the Nets in that one. We'll see if they can run it back or if they have a letdown. They are fully healthy coming into this game, so that's definitely a plus. They're also getting a point in this game, which is also literally a +1. They've got a total in this one of 225.5. Orlando's 7-11 against spread on the road. They're 4-2 against spread on no rest. They're 19-17 to the over. Brooklyn's 8-10 against spread at home, 19-14 to the under. Guys, I think this is actually a pretty good spot to back the Orlando Magic. This is a huge letdown spot for Brooklyn. I think the Magic are going to be playing everybody here on back-to-back nights. A lot of their guys did not play their full minutes load. We saw Banchero and Bane each play, I wanted to say it was 25 minutes each. Yeah, Bane played 24, Paolo played 25, Wendell Carter Jr. played 20, Anthony Black played 21. This is very, very good territory here to back the Magic in a bounce-back spot where I don't think they'll be that tired, and they've been a great against spread team on no rest this season regardless. Next on the dock, we've got the Los Angeles Clippers heading to New York to take on the Knicks. The Clippers are only 13-22 on the season, but they've been playing much, much better here down the stretch. They've won 7 out of their last 8. The Warriors did get really robbed in that game to eventually lose by 1 point. Steph Curry's whistle needs to be studied because it is the worst superstar whistle that I have seen in the NBA in quite some time. But we do see the Clippers, notwithstanding, get the 1-point win. Kawhi played relatively well, 24 points. It took him 25 shots. He was 0 of 8 of 3, but it was still a +8 out there. We see Zubac back in the starting lineup, 10 points and 11 rebounds. He's still rounding into form. No Harden in this game. Yeah, James Harden ended up sitting that one out. So we'll see if he's back for this one, see what the Clippers can do in general here. They've got a lot of work to do to dig themselves out of this hole. Harden is on the injury report still. He's officially questionable, dealing with that shoulder issue. I would be a little bit surprised to see him sit this game out. We'll obviously have to wait and see, but I would be a little bit surprised. Now, they're going on the road to take on the Knicks, who have now lost 4 straight games. They lost against the Pistons their last time out in Detroit. They lost against the 76ers. They lost against the Hawks, and they lost against the Spurs. A couple of those losses are excusable. You can lose to the Pistons and the Spurs. You can't be losing to the Hawks and 76ers if you want to be a legitimate contender here. So we'll see what they can do. See if they've got a bounce back in them. Things did not go great there against the Pistons. I mean, OG Anunoby had a terrible night. Cat was awful, only 6 points in 23 minutes. Mikal Bridges, not much better. Jalen Brunson tried to carry the team but couldn't quite do it. Deuce McBride had a massive day, but other than that, not a lot of positives. So we'll see what the Knicks can do in this one. Josh Hart is still going to be sidelined. He's the only meaningful injury. He is doing some light on-court work, but no real immediate timetable for his return. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Knicks are 5.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 224.5. The Clippers are 8-9 against spread on the road. Despite how bad they've been this season, they haven't been bad on the road. They're 19-16 to the under. The Knicks are 13-6 against spread at home. They're 21-16 to the over. I would maybe lean a bit towards over in this game. Not a huge lean, though. Much better than that. Give me the Clippers getting 5.5 points. This could potentially be our dog of the day. I certainly like them a lot if we see Harden actually going to play in this game. I think the Knicks are being a bit overrated. Now, playing at home, maybe the bench will step up, but I still think the Clippers and Kawhi find a way to make this quite the game down the stretch. Next on the docket, we've got the Phoenix Suns heading to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. The Suns are 21-15 on the season. They're coming off a tough 3-point loss there at Houston. Phoenix has been one of the bigger surprises this season, just looking so good. Very nice day there from Devin Booker. He puts up 33, 25 from Colin Gillespie, or 11 from Colin Gillespie in 25 minutes. 11 points from Jordan Goodwin coming off the bench. But as a team, they only shot 34% from three. They very clearly are missing Grayson Allen, and it appears that Grayson Allen is going to be back for this game. That should be a really nice little boost. He did play 22 minutes of terrible ball there at Houston, but having him back in general, and I do expect him to start knocking down those shots, is going to make a crazy difference here. Other than that, they're fully healthy and ready to go. So we'll see what they can do against Memphis. The Grizzlies are in a bit of a letdown spot. They're coming off a crazy 106-105 win over the Spurs. Cam Spencer, a monster bounce back performance from him after a terrible game 2 there in that little 2-game series at the Lakers. But he was a monster out there. No Ja in that game, and we'll see if Ja comes back for this one. Jaren Jackson Jr. Did put up 21 points. It was a bounce back game for him as well. Jock Landale had a big game, double-digit scoring off the bench from Santi Aldama and Vince Williams Jr. So a great day out there for the Grizzlies. Can they back it up here? Well, we'll have to wait and see. They are playing on no rest in this spot, so we don't have a fully updated injury report. We'll see if Ja and Cedric Coward are available here. I would be a little bit shocked to see Ja come back, although Ja usually doesn't play basketball, so it wouldn't be that big of a shock. And Cedric Coward not going to be playing in this game. That ankle sprain did not look great. So looking at the numbers, these are very early numbers, but right now the Grizzlies are getting 4.5 points. We've got a total of 229.5. The Suns are 12-7 against spread on the road. They are 10-4 against spread coming off a loss, and they're a slight over team. Memphis is 7-9 against spread at home, 2-2 against spread on no rest, 21-14 to the over. So you could mess around and look at the over in this game potentially, but almost regardless of what this number is, if it's not double digits, I slam it here on the Suns. So we'll have to update this one once we get a real number posted for this game. Let's do a little discount double check real quick and check and make sure that they haven't posted a number here for this game while I've been recording. I would be a little bit shocked if one has not come out yet. So this is not 100% a real number, but we'll definitely be putting the Suns here in the pinned comment. They might even be our lock of the day on the money line because I find it very unlikely that they take the loss in this one. Next up, we've got the Utah Jazz heading to Oklahoma City to take on the Thunder. The Jazz come into this game fresh off a 20-point loss there at Portland. Not great. They got toasted there by Denny Adjeva. It just wasn't a great day. Markkanen had a bit of an off shooting night, only had 22 points in his 32 minutes. That's a down night for him. Nurkic had 21, though, and was playing great. 21 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. Great work from him. Also cashed a player prop for us, so we'll take that. Keontae George only had 15 in his 33 minutes. Just overall, not what we've grown accustomed to seeing from the Jazz. They are a team that plays way better at home than on the road. I will say that. They do come into this game very healthy, though. No Ace Bailey, but other than that, they are healthy and ready to go as they head to Oklahoma City to take on the Thunder, who at 30-7 on the year are having a great time, but they have lost 2 in a row. They got blown out by the Hornets. They were playing on no rest in that one. Obviously, they're 6-6 over the last 12. I, unlike a lot of people, am not ready to push any sort of panic button here for the Thunder. I think they're going to be absolutely okay. Is SJ not getting as many foul calls as he was getting? No. And I think that's a good thing for the game of basketball in general. Foul baiting, a little bit of a disease. But regardless, guys, they're coming off a blowout loss against the Hornets. I don't think that's going to affect them too much. They're relatively healthy coming into this game, although we do see Hartenstein and Caruso on the injury report. That's not great. Hartenstein won't play in this game due to a sore or a right soleus strain, and Caruso dealing with back issues has also been ruled out. Despite that, the Thunder are 18.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 237.5. The Jazz are only 6-10 against spread on the road. They are 22-13 to the over. The Thunder are 11-8 against spread at home. They're 20-17 to the under. There's no way I'm not taking the Jazz here getting nearly 20 points. We just have to do it. I don't want to watch this game. I don't want to interact with this game. I don't really want to be on the Jazz here getting 18.5, but these massive underdogs have been so good in the NBA this season, we just have to play it until we get burned. And Utah has cashed a lot of bets for us this season. Give me the Jazz here getting 18.5 points. Definitely a pin comment play. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Los Angeles Lakers going on the road to take on the San Antonio Spurs. The Lakers have won 4 out of their last 5, but when those wins are coming against the Pelicans, Grizzlies, and Kings, it is not time to be celebrating. Luka and LeBron looked pumped celebrating that win there on Tuesday night after taking down the Pelicans. You got bigger fish to fry, guys. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Obviously, we don't have an updated injury report because they are playing on back-to-back nights. So we'll see what they can do. LeBron and Luka each putting up 30 is not something that I expect to see happen in San Antonio. The Spurs come in this game losers of 2 in a row, coming off a tough 1-point loss there at Memphis. They lost that game on Tuesday night, so they also will be playing on no rest. So we'll see what they can do. No updated injury report, but I expect it to look vaguely the same. I think we'll see no Vassell in this game, and I think there's a good chance we do see Wemby play on back-to-back nights, despite the fact he put up a 30-piece. They did play everybody relatively heavy minutes, but only 21 there for Wemby, 30 for De'Aaron Fox, who was just a train wreck in this game. So a massive bounce-back spot for him. Maybe look at some De'Aaron Fox player props out there. I wouldn't have any problem with that. The Spurs are currently listed as 6-point favorites at home in this game. We've got a total of 233.5. The Lakers are 10-7 against spread on the road. They're 2-3 against spread on no rest, and they're a big over team. The Spurs are 9-7-1 against spread at home, 3-2 against spread on no rest. 19-17 to the under. Guys, I love the Spurs at -6 in this game. This has potential to be our lock of the day as well. I think they definitely take care of business here against a Lakers team that's not going to be at full strength. You might even want to jump on this one early. I would not be shocked at all to see LeBron or Luka or whoever potentially sit out here on the second half of a back-to-back. Rounding into the home stretch, guys, we're looking at the Milwaukee Bucks heading to Golden State to take on the Warriors. The Bucks are 16-20 on the season. They have won 4 out of their last 5 games, wins against the Kings, Hornets again, and the Bulls. They did lose by 1 against the Wizards. Giannis coming back has definitely helped things a lot. We'll see if it's helped things enough to make him want to stay. That seems like a pretty big ask. They come into this game fully healthy, so that's all you can really ask for at this point, and not too tired coming off a blowout win over the Kings. We'll see what they can do in Golden State. I mean, the Warriors just got absolutely hosed there in that loss against the Clippers. That should have been a win for them, but what are you going to do? They've lost 2 out of their last 3. Steph's doing absolutely everything he can. Curry fouling out in that game was just insane. Draymond acts like a psycho every other night. It's just been a rough season for Golden State. They're relatively healthy coming into this one. Draymond's on the injury report dealing with an ankle issue. He's questionable. I usually expect him to play in this game, so he'll probably be out there. The Warriors are 5.5-point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 227.5. Milwaukee's 9-9 against spread on the road. They're a slight under team. The Warriors are 8-8 against spread at home. They are a slight over team. Guys, I'll take the Bucks getting the points here. The Warriors are just cursed this season, it feels like. I just don't expect them to have a great time. So give me Milwaukee getting the points here as a small lean. Last but not least, guys, we've got the Houston Rockets heading to Portland to take on the Trailblazers. The Rockets are 22-11 on the season. They have won 5 out of their last 6. They're coming off a nice 3-point win there over the Suns. A nice bounce back after a hiccup of a loss there against the Mavericks. I mean, in that win, we saw Kevin Durant play pretty well, although not the most efficient shooting numbers. They're clearly missing Sengun out there, but Steven Adams can kind of fill a role a little bit. The bench still looks pretty mediocre for Houston, so that is a pretty big concern here. Still no Sengun for this game. He's going to be sidelined for a bit there with that ankle, probably going to miss a couple weeks, so that does suck. Other than that, they're healthy, so we'll see what they can do in Portland, taking on the Trailblazers, who've won 3 straight games and 5 of their last 6. They're coming off a blowout win over the Jazz. They beat the Spurs. They beat the Pelicans. Lost to the Thunder in a blowout, but beat the Mavericks and the Celtics before that. So they've had some decent wins mixed in. It's been a massive breakout season for Denny Adjeva. He's played great. This team does feel like it's a real point guard away from being pretty freaking good, but Jrue Holiday still is not coming back from that calf issue. He's officially been ruled out for this game, so they'll have to try and do it without him. Jeremy Grant still dealing with that Achilles issue, so yeah, I think that's cooling off the trade market for him quite a bit. But regardless of those guys missing time, they've been missing time for a while, they're still finding ways to win. The Blazers are getting 5.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 225.5. Houston's 12-8 against spread on the road. They're 18-14-1 to the over. Portland, they're 10-7 against spread at home. They are 20-17 to the over. Guys, I feel like I'm missing something on this game. Like, is this not a real number? Like, no, this is a very real number. 224.5. It's gone down. 224.5. I will slam it on the over. I really like the over in this spot. I think we'll see plenty of offense. I think we'll see plenty of free throws. Give me the Portland Trailblazers. You could also give me the Trailblazers +5, I guess, as the tiniest of leans, maybe. Don't even really care about that much, though. Definitely book me the over in this one. Guys, that is all we've got cooking out there for today. What a video, a ton of games covered. Do me a huge favor and slam that like button as a thank you for covering all those games today, a ton of them. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. If you're new around here, just check below and see if you're already subscribed. Really appreciate all the new subscribers. Really appreciate all my channel members. Definitely get in the comments. Big shout out to everybody that gets in the comments every day. I love going through and answering those comments. And sometimes I go through and I answer comments from videos, a couple days ago, just to let people know that I'm still looking at them. Big shout out to you guys. Appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you're clicking the link, getting over to StumpTheSpread.com. We've had an avalanche of new signups over there at Stump the Spread, so you absolutely love to see that. Really appreciate all you guys that are getting in on the premium action. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Same time, same place for more sports betting action.